Relish the opportunity to be an outsider, because it's the outsiders who change the world.
Perhaps you were born for such a time as this. Hey everybody, how are you? Happy day after Independence Day, July 5th. I'm so glad that you guys are here with me today. You haven't seen him in a while, is Super Don, the producer. Super Don, are you there?
I'm here.
How are you?
I'm good. Took me a minute here to figure out how to do everything. It's been so while.
I
been
know
so long.
it's been a while.
How have you been?
I've been good.
I beat you to it. How have you been?
I am good, thank you. How about you?
Good. Yeah. Had a good 4th of July with the family and fireworks and noise and hanging out and all that kind of stuff.
You know what? I got a question for you. So, there's a big talk about global warming, right? And I just wonder how all the fireworks contribute to that.
That's the smell of freedom. What are you talking about? Global warming.
I know, right? I mean,
Yeah.
do you think the cow farts are actually worse than all the fireworks across the United States yesterday?
It's an interesting thing because they talk about cow farts. And so don't you think there's more people farts than there are
I
cow
know.
farts? I mean, come on. Are we really worried about the flatulence of
I know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's all silly, but
I do too.
Whatever. Global warming, what's the seas are going to rise. That just means more beachfront property for me.
Right?
I
know. Well, I'm so glad that you are joining me today. I can't wait to hear comments and questions from people who are joining us. And if you are here live with us now, please write in the comment section where you're watching from, because I love seeing where everybody's watching from. We get people from all over the world, and I love that.
Iowa City wins
Ooh,
first. They came in first.
Nice. Hey, Tim. Thank you so much for being here. Also, hey, Paul. Well, hello to you. I would like to know if you got my book, because it did take, somebody messaged me. My book was released on June 12th, I think it was, on Amazon. You can get my book on Amazon.com. And it took a while to send out. It takes like 5 to 7 days to ship it out. It is print on demand. I self-published it because I was going to say I couldn't find a publisher, but I didn't look very hard. I went to 2 different publishers, but I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to do it myself.
Yeah,
And
why not?
I know. And I'd love to hear if you got my book, what you think about it. And the day that it launched, guys, I'm so grateful. It was #1 in 2 categories on Amazon. #1 in headaches and pain management, I think it is.
Chronic pain, it says here, #1 bestseller in chronic pain.
Yay. So we
That's
lost
amazing.
the status in headaches. So I need everybody to go get a copy for their friends. Here's why I want people to read this. And the more people who get a copy, the more reviews that you write, 5-star reviews, please. The more reviews that you write, it allows other people to see it. You know how the algorithms are, that it just brings it to the top. And I know, Super Don and everybody who's watching, I am 150% positive this book will change your life. It will give you pause. In fact, let's read some of the comments, because one of these comments, can you zoom in on that? Oh, Super Don, you might have to read it, or I'll have to get my glasses on.
Hold on. Here we go. I can zoom in on this.
Yeah, zoom in on that first one, because this is important. So Kay Smith says, I've heard about mold, but I have been blessed to not have experienced it. I had no idea how much damage it can do to a person's body health. The knowledge and information shared in this book is well worth the time to read. And that is why I want people to get this book. It's going to bring it up to the top on Amazon. People will be searching for, let's get it back on top in headaches, because that was my number one debilitating pain that I had in my body, was just severe migraines. Ted would have to rush me to the hospital several times. And I write about all of that in my book. I don't want to jinx it, but I don't get migraines anymore. I used to get them 3 to 5 times a week. And that would mean taking abortive medications where the side effects include, drum roll, please. I'm putting you on the spot.
Whoops, I'm knocking stuff off my shelf here.
That's all right. That's all right. The one of the side effects for these pain medications that I was taking was death. Not a good thing. So if you're on any medication,
I'd rather have migraines, I think. But
pardon me?
I said I'd rather have migraines than death. But,
Yeah, but you don't want to. Have you ever had a migraine?
well,
Don?
you know, it's interesting. I didn't realize that you had that problem. I used to have chronic migraines myself, and I'll tell you, you know, we're doing the kind of work I do. You're staring at computer screens all day, and it was just torture. But I would get them to the point where I was done. I had to do nothing, go hide under the covers with the lights off.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember I went to, like, well, Ted was on the rock and roll tour. I was on a doctor tour. I went to so many different doctors who basically said, man, you're just stressed. You know, of course, everybody's stressed. But that's why I wrote this book. It reads like a story, because it is. It's not just a technical book where I throw out really complicated words like stachybotrys, which is what you should know. But I wanted to I wanted you to hear my story about how I was really super healthy, once named Detroit's most physical female, then got sick and almost died from toxic mold. If it could happen to us 3 times, even after we learned our lessons, so to speak, even after we lost not only our home that was once featured on MTV Cribs, but we lost our health, the building community. Now, I'm sure there's a couple of good builders out there. I don't know any. I'd love to interview you if you are. In fact, I do know a couple. But anyway, so let's go on to the other reviews. What else we got, Super Don?
Well, so we've got from Tina here saying, very interesting. Thank you. It was a 5-star review.
What was the title of that one, though? The title of that review says,
best book ever.
What?
Woohoo!
That's thank you very much. That's a pretty big I mean, there's a lot of great books out there.
Yeah.
But thank you. I appreciate that.
Brenda, titled Best Book Yet on Home Safety, says this book is a godsend.
Yeah.
Doesn't get much better than that, does it? That's
awesome. I'm so grateful for that. Do we have any I see one. Well, there's a lot of long ones too that I don't think we can post them here, but
okay.
I am so grateful. If you see any short ones, I see Michael saying, I studied mold at the University of Concordia. I never heard of mold being studied at a university unless it was for biological germ warfare or something like that. That's a whole nother topic. But I do go into a little bit of, you're going to be surprised to hear about this, Super Don. I talk a little bit about spiritual warfare in the book. I have a whole chapter just for that. So anyways, Janet Ristoff said,
whoops, I beat you to it.
That's all right. That's all right. Kevin, hi from over. Hey, Kevin, how are you? Books will be here Monday. He ordered a couple, which is what I recommend, because here's the problem. Once my friends started hearing that I was publishing this book, I talked about it on different podcasts. They would secretly text or email me going, my sister has a problem with this. What should I tell her? Here's what you do. Get her this book and let her read for herself. Because a lot of times when a loved one tells you, you should not do that, you're probably going to do it anyway, right? But when you read the story, and it's not just my story in this book. Ted writes a little bit in it. Rocco writes in it. And I have some other mold warriors. We call them mold mom warriors, who share their devastating stories that are similar, but one even super Don, one woman, Emily Rachel, talks about losing her baby to toxic mold. I mean, it's a deadly silent killer. And I just want to, I'm grateful. I'm really, it's a weird feeling. We were on Alex Jones' show. I say Rocco came on towards the end of the interview with Alex. And afterwards he did a social media post and he goes, "How does it feel, Mom? How does it feel?" And I'm like, it's both amazing. I'm grateful. I feel grateful, but I'm saddened that so many people have this problem and they don't even know it.
Mm-hmm.
So I know this book will enlighten people and help them understand more about this devastating illness.
It's great.
So we got Janet Ristoff said she had migraines for 35 years. I heard somebody say, I like that. Not saying Janet did, but I'll just tell you, it's a joke. Okay. Somebody said, I had migraines for 20 years. And at the time I was like, oh my gosh, what did you do to get rid of them? And they said, I got divorced.
I had a feeling that's what you were going to say.
or I lost 185 pounds. I'm like, wow, what did you do? I got divorced. Anyways, that
yes.
joke. Yes. So
I have that here somewhere.
Okay, well, so I also, it's difficult, super sick, whatever have going on. I know a lot of people are texting quickly, so sometimes not all of the messages come out, but thank you guys so much for your kind words and your support. If you know anybody, if you know a loved one that has an illness, allergies, headaches, sore throat, chronic cough, I used to get bronchitis all the time, every year, bronchitis, strep throat every year, taking medication for it. So if you know anybody, you have a family member, get the book for them, and it might just change your life. It might save their life. You seen any interesting comments there?
Let's see here.
Okay, I want to highlight this. Eric Johnson is one of the leaders in the mold industry. He's written a lot about this, and he says if you watch doctors carefully, a lot of them do know about mold, but pretend not to. Perhaps they don't think it is profitable. I will agree with you, Eric.
So if you just a question, if you went to a doctor and a doctor determined that there was mold, how do they treat you for that?
That's the problem. It's not a Band-Aid, put the Band-Aid on, call me in the morning, or
some antibiotics, go home.
Yeah, it's not a one size fits all. And I go into different treatments and I share with you what I did. And I didn't take a pill for it. I basically had to detoxify my body. I had 4 different types of mold in my bloodstream, and I was also diagnosed with having pre-emphysema, and I don't smoke. So what I chose to do, there are a lot of different protocols out there. Some of them are good. Some of them require more pharmaceutical drugs. So I chose to go to the Environmental Health Center in Dallas, which is part of the reason we moved to Texas. I was there for about a month. And so 20 years ago, Don, I was doing things like vitamin IV, infrared sauna, and oxygen. And this was the good part, daily massage, daily exercise. I did change my diet. I was on a rotation diet because a lot of times, let's say you have mold in your house, you don't see it. And that's what our problem was. We never saw anything. We just kept getting sicker and sicker. But add to the mix, you're eating foods that you're actually allergic to. So that's one of the reasons to be on the rotation diet. But I go through all these different, my theories on how to remediate your body and recover from toxic mold. Now, there's a bunch of different ways to remediate your home, and I go into detail about that as well. So what else we got?
There's a question here from a LinkedIn user. If you move out of the house, are you safe, or do you need to go to a doctor for help? So it sounds like the answer is, yeah, you do need to see somebody. Maybe.
The most important thing for me is how I feel. I can walk into a building, and I did just that 3 weeks ago. I was in California, Yuba City, California, doing a speech at Bard's Fest. Went into this other building that they had. The place was fine. I was there for 4 days straight, but went into a different building. I literally walked in, and I had to stop. And literally, the other thing that this has taught me is to have boundaries. I'm the canary in a coal mine. I can walk in, smell if there is volatile organic compounds, smell if there's toxic mold. And it's not just a smell to me. Sometimes mold does not smell. It's a feeling, like I can only describe it as like a vice grip feeling that I got goosebumps right now, that basically that happens. I'm a canary in a coal mine. And
Wow.
so to answer your question, the number one most important thing is how you feel. So if you move out and you feel good, now you could go through a bunch of hoops and get your house tested. Again, I go through, I don't want to make this all about mold, because there is one more thing I want to talk to you about today before we get going. But I do talk extensively about it. You can get your house tested. You can have it remediated. We had to have our home torn down. But the problem also is there's some remediators who are just going to rip you off. So how do you know which ones are good, which ones aren't good? I go into all that detail in my book.
All right.
So what else we got?
Looks like there's a lot of people that can
My
relate
husband
to what it is you're talking about here.
Oh, my husband got me your book, and I'm so grateful he did. I'm sorry your family had to go through such severe illnesses, and glad you're doing better. Mold is treacherous. It is. And I'll just address this one last thing. And then I see another comment. It's not like, Don, you break your arm, okay? The bone is sticking out. I have to go to the doctor right now.
Right.
You know for sure. We end up, as human beings, making excuses for why we're tired, why we can't sleep, why we have headaches, why we have joint pain, why XYZ. I mean, just keep going on and on. Literally, name a symptom. It can be related in some way to toxic mold, even cancer, which is really sad. So watching and listening. Hey, Troy, Sandy, how are you? Troy, Sandy, working at, it's not Glenn Beck Chevrolet, Jeff Beck Chevrolet. Thank you, Troy, for what you're doing. Troy is one of those warriors that, he's the type of guy, I have to say, I hope he watches, from Hillsdale County. Hillsdale, the only college that you should send your kids to. And I get nothing for saying that. It's an incredible university, but Troy is just one of those great people that if you ask to have something done, or you need help with, pounding a nail or whatever it is, he's the first one to raise his hand. I'll help. So blessed to have you and your son in our lives, Troy. So, okay. What else? All right. I wanted to talk to you about one other thing today, and that is, I wrote a book. It became a bestseller on Amazon. So I thought, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Not really. But I am taking this all a step further, because I talk about mold in this book. I talk about ways that you can get healthy, but I know people are going to want more. So on Monday night, this coming Monday night, I have a free workshop that will address, there's so much in that I've learned about being healthy. And it's not just about looking good in a pair of jeans. It's about how you feel from the inside out. It's about a mind, body, and spirit connection that we have, because, you could look good in those jeans, or, your tights or muscle shirt, whatever it is, when you go to the gym and take your selfies. But if you're not happy inside, if you don't feel fulfillment, if you aren't in a place where you feel like God has put you, to be quite honest with you, I'd love for you to check this out. So this workshop is called Glow. And it's 2 hours to develop a healthy mindset and to start living your best life. And it's all about how to remove stress and regain your energy and reignite what was once stuck. And again, part of the reason I do these things is because I've learned so much and I want to share it with you. I see people constantly that are where I used to be 10 years ago or 20 years ago. I did an interview with somebody recently on here. I posted on my Facebook page. Tricia Rodriguez. One of the things we talked about. She does a show called Patriot Nightcap on YouTube, and one of the things she was really interested in. She heard me talk about having boundaries, and this Glow workshop is I address that as well. Just like how I told you when I walk into a room and I can sense that I should not be there because I'm going to get sick. I'm going to have migraines for it. I'm not going to feel good. I won't sleep good. I won't have any energy. Whatever it is, that's a boundary. That's one way of having a boundary that you can create. Or if you're in an environment where there are toxic people, I go into a lot more about that as well, because sometimes we can't avoid toxic coworkers, but I can help you how to have those boundaries to minimize the time that you spend with them, and to ultimately it's work on yourself. So I talk all about that in this Glow workshop. All you have to do is go to, what link is that, Super Don?
Oh yeah, huh?
The link
I'll bet you
is,
they'd
it's
like
on
to
my
see a link,
website.
right? Yeah. Hold on.
It's on my website. So if you want to go to ShemaineNugent.rocks and you click on the drop-down menu, or you can just take a screenshot of this and go right there, go to Glow Workshop. And now here's what's going to happen. Go to the next, like, join now. Say you read all this and you go, yes, I want to do this. So here's what we need to do. And I'm doing this intentionally for a reason. You're going to book a 15-minute chat with somebody for a reason. It's not about paying any money at all. I just want to know if we are aligned, if I can help you, and if you can be part of my tribe. Because number one, I don't want any haters in there. Number two, I want to make sure that what I'm offering is what you're looking for. So that's the only thing. It's all free. So you can just click on that link. It's not a sales call. It's a 15-minute chat with one of my team members to just find out more about you and to make sure that we're aligned in what we do. So what, are we getting any comments on those things, Super Don?
Let's see what we got here.
Yes, I'm tired a little.
Oh,
I see.
here's the best comment of the day.
Super.
Is that the ponytail?
Wow, that's grown since I last saw you.
It has. I've been working on that. That's
so that hairdo used to be my husband's hairdo.
I know it was. I know that.
And there was a rumor going around that he cut his hair because he was going to run for president. Did you ever hear that?
I think I did hear that. Yes.
Yeah, there was a rumor.
But the truth is what?
The truth is, this is what happened. He was outside, and he's always outdoors. You know that movie with Will Ferrell, Wedding Crashers?
Okay.
I think it is, where he's in his house and he's like, "Ma, the meatloaf, Ma." You remember that? Or no?
I don't know if I've seen that movie, honestly.
Oh, you have to see it. It's so
Okay.
funny.
All right.
So anyways, Will Ferrell, and being Will Ferrell, he's doing, "Mom, the meatloaf." She was going to make meatloaf for his friend. Anyways, he goes, "I don't even know what she's doing back there all day." Well, all that to say, I don't even know what Ted does outside all day, but he's always outside. He's fixing feeders and fences and trapping and all these other things. Anyways, so he was outside and his ponytail got caught in one of the trees.
Oh.
And he had to cut part of it out. He couldn't get it out.
Oh no.
So he literally walked in and he goes, call that hairstylist of yours and tell her to come over here right now. I want to get my hair cut.
That
So
was it, huh?
that was it.
Wow.
No running for president.
Oh,
No.
well.
Can you
Blame it on the
imagine that?
tree. Say all those tree huggers.
I know. Okay, so Paul says the workshop, no, it's not only for women. I have to change that. It's not only for women, it's for women and men. And I see Deborah is interested. Troy says, yeah, we were outside. Troy was with Ted outside. What do you do out there all day? You just do stuff. And there was a lot of, I don't
Man
know,
stuff. It's man
man
stuff. You
stuff,
wouldn't understand. You wouldn't
man
understand.
stuff. It's like, and he'll come in and go, you couldn't have kept up with me. Do you hear that, Troy? That's what he says all the time. You couldn't keep up with me if you had to do what I have to do. And granted, he's working the dogs and they're out there. So, all right, guys, anything else we have to discuss, Super Don?
Did you hear there's cocaine in the White House?
Oh, wow. What, did you see the video too? Where Hunter's looking a little nervous
Yeah,
on, on the balcony. Hey,
you
and
had
there
to
were a
know
bunch of
that. You had to know that was coming. But
a bunch of memes out there. Oh, where did I put that?
you know what I think is funny is that people think that's the first time cocaine's been in the White House.
Right. Yeah. And
I have a hunch.
Here's what the first thing that I thought of when I heard about that. If you notice, the media only puts out certain things. For some reason, a lot of things could perhaps be distractions. Why would they want us to know that? Is the first thing that I think of. Why are they putting that information out there? I don't want to get into too much here because I'm shadow banned severely, but I know what else we could talk about on my show, Faith and Freedom on Real America's Voice, which is the intro part of what you saw, which is like, I really like that intro. That's just a shortened version of it. But on my Faith and Freedom show on Real America's Voice every Sunday at 10 a.m., I can talk about anything. And I've interviewed everybody from Kirk Cameron to Charlie Kirk to Representative Anna Paulina Luna, Byron Donald, Scott Kesterson, Juan O'Savin, just so many people. And also we've got musicians in there. There's this guy that plays guitar. I can't remember his name. He's on there all the time too.
The guitar dude.
The guitar guy who actually you should maybe not. I didn't ask you to find this video, but there's a video of him. I'm going to post it on my social media, I think when I get done right here. But Ted played at the Cherry Festival in Michigan. Now you might think, wow, Cherry Festival, it's a huge deal. It's huge. But he was playing with Night Ranger. And they played a couple of Damn Yankees songs that I'm going to post. And I get so many questions about the Damn Yankees too. And I know Ted, I saw Michael Cartellone, December 1, we did a charity event. Michael was there. He was been playing with Leonard Skinner. And of course, Jack Blades. I haven't seen Tom in a while, but I saw Jack last month at an event that he jammed with Ted. And I asked them both, how many times a day do you hear one of the Damn Yankees getting back together? And he's like, all the time.
I will admit, I am a Damn Yankees fan. Huge. Those guys were amazing, right? You know.
Huge. Okay, so here's something that you might not know. Two stories.
Okay.
The only reason they're not getting, I'm not going to say they're not going to get back together because I'm with you. They were amazing. Like, probably my favorite band, but it's just trying to coordinate everybody's schedule. Tommy's playing with Styx, Jack's playing with Night Ranger, Michael's on tour with Leonard Skinner, and Ted's doing his last tour. So
wasn't there something I read somewhere that they always wanted to tour during hunting season too? And that wasn't going to
yes,
come on, priorities.
That was part of it. And he did for a little bit, but then he's got his boundaries. And so it's one of those things where it's just trying to get everybody together. But so there was a Damn Yankees album that they went into the studio and recorded. So the Damn Yankees was right when Rocco was born. Rocco's going to be 33. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
So the Damn Yankees was about 30 years ago. And about 10 years ago, they recorded an entire album. They went into the studio, Ted, Tommy, Jack, and Michael went into the studio and recorded an entire album. You want to hear a heartbreaker?
What's that?
The record company, and when you're in a label and the record company is paying for you to go into the studio, paying for all this stuff, they get the final say. Record company didn't like it.
What?
They nixed the whole thing.
Do they own the recordings?
They own the recordings.
That would be gold.
Can you believe that?
That's lousy.
And no. And it was awesome. I'm like, what? I think there was a little political motivations. That's just me. Anyway.
Well, maybe someday.
Maybe someday. Maybe someday soon. But on that note, Ted is on his last tour this summer. So go to tednugent.com and get your tickets if there's still any available. A lot of them are sold out right now. And if you want to meet Ted, I had somebody contact me and say, hey, I want to support Ted. Can you get me tickets? Well, if I'm getting you tickets, are you supporting Ted? Can we get backstage with you? Actually, yes, you can get backstage. And those tickets are called Danger Zone VIP passes. Now, that money, I don't know how much it is to spend time, an hour with Ted backstage before the show. And he talks to everybody. It's great. He signs autographs, takes selfies, does all that stuff, spends some time with people. But that money that people pay for that goes to our Ted Nugent Camp for Kids charity.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, any other comments? Oh, yes. I see this one. Rocco and Ted were on Sally Jesse Raphael. That was, gosh, Rocco was a baby. I think I had him in my arms, I believe. So that was, again, 30 some years ago.
Wow. Time flies.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Leonard Skinner plays with Ted. I'm looking at some of the comments. Leonard Skinner does play with Ted, not often. So about Ted going on the road for the last time. I am 80% sure, I would say 90%, this is going to be his last tour.
Okay.
His last official tour. Now, I've heard him say this before, and then a great event comes up and he wants to play for it, a great charity, and he wants to play. So charity events that's not considered going on tour. So
Right.
he might just grab his guitar and go play a charity event, or grab his guitar and go play on stage with Night Ranger at the Cherry Festival. He might do those types of things, but I am 90% sure he's not going to go on a full-fledged tour anymore. And there's a couple of reasons. He's 74. And imagine doing what you're doing every day, Super Don. Every day. Only every night you got to pack up your stuff, get on a bus, go to the next spot, stay in a hotel for a few hours, get up the next day, do media, do what you're doing in a new place, pack your stuff up, get on a bus. I mean, he's doing about 40 shows in 50 days.
That's grueling. Yeah.
And it's the travel that is tough.
Right.
So,
well, he's done it for a long time.
he has.
He has.
He has.
We've enjoyed that. In fact, I even, what was it the other night? He played there when Trump came to town, didn't he?
Yes, he did that. So
I
that's
saw that
not
when he played
considered a tour.
the national anthem.
Yes,
that
was in Michigan
right.
for the Lincoln Day dinner, which
Right.
was great. Now he likes to say this is there was a storm going on, but right after he got off stage, I don't know, maybe it was 20 minutes or whatever, the whole power went out in the whole building. So he likes to say he caused the power outage.
Why not?
Yeah.
Could have happened.
Yep. All right, Super Don. Anything else we got? Any other standout comments? I see Kevin Scholl. I'd like to be in Ted's shape at 74. Yeah, it's a constant battle for all of us, Kevin, and we have to pick and choose our battle. Kevin knows he's done a lot of the programs that I've done in the past that I say 80% of what I do is super clean and healthy. 20%, not so much. Have you ever had crumble cookies or sprinkles cupcakes? It's kind of like I don't want to know what's in them. I got my
Making me
but my
hungry.
point is, on occasion, life is meant to be worth enjoying.
Absolutely. Food is meant to be enjoyed.
Yeah.
It is.
Yep.
I've enjoyed a little too much.
I did have to drive by yesterday. I was driving by Crumble Cookies and I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't go there. And I made it past it. So, because if you just say, oh, I'll just have one potato chip, that's a bag later. You're like, what? How, did
How'd
that
that
happen?
happen?
All
Good
right.
times.
All right, guys, I could talk with Super Don all day, talk with you guys all day, but I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Super Don, for joining me and for producing this. We got to get back in the swing of things again and do this more often.
Sounds good to me.
All right, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.